also not be at a high level of understanding to ask, a useful question.
Yes.
I think. And that could very much be inside my own head. But also, of course, I've not been here very long.
Yeah.
So I think the feedback app enables more people to give you feedback, and you to get a wider range of feedback. But I think it's more the fact that, yes, the feedback is initially is anonymous on the app, but people will also give you feedback day to day. So it's more that it enables the feedback here, whereas I appreciate that should you introduce that into another company that doesn't give feedback as often, that could be perceived as something a little bit more negative.
So you need to have a feedback culture in the first place to enable the app to become one of the tools of the feedback culture for it to work. Is that what you mean?
In my opinion, yes. I don't know if that's something that people have experienced, because obviously they're working with companies who are implementing this.
Sure.
But from my initial preconception of the app versus how I've seen it in action here, I think it definitely encourages it, and it definitely improves it. I don't know if it's necessary, but it definitely improves the feedback.
And are there times when it is more useful or less useful, do you think? Or is it the same?
I think, for me so far, I've not seen a time where it's not been useful, because I'm at a point where I'm very new to the company, so everything I do is probably, I'm still at the point where I'm not sure if it quite fits in with how things are done here, or just little things like that, and I think that really helps.
Yeah.
In terms of a time when it might not be useful, could be I would imagine that I know that sometimes when the engineers present something that's quite heavily engineer related, I find it a little bit more difficult to follow. So maybe my advice my feedback isn't as useful.
Yeah. Because what they're talking about is quite technical sometimes, is it? Yeah.
But then I think at the same time you should have an equal, well, almost equal amount of feedback from engineers and business people. So it's also a skill to be able to present. So my feedback would be more about the presentation skill rather than the actual technical.
Because you don't feel qualified to comment on the technical side.
No.
And the aim of the company is obviously to spend 50% on Biz1, e-commerce and the revenue generation, and 50% on the culture. And how have you seen that in practice? And are there times when that's easier or harder?
I've seen that in practice in terms of everything I've done since I got here. So I think my revenue focus is customer experience, but I do spend an awful lot of time on culture initiatives. And at the moment it just feels like my time is split 50-50. I think this can be anything from ETP session, which I still consider as part of the culture initiatives, to organising the breakfasts and things like that. And I think, from what I've seen so far in my day to day, there is
it is quite 50-50.
I think as well in terms of the things that so we have kind of conferences on that we're kind of watching here.
I've seen those in action.
I think roughly they have it's probably about 50-50 in terms of what they're presenting on. So for example, we have First Fridays, and so far I've been to one on revenue and one on culture, so that suggests that there's kind of that balance still. So
that's great. And just to finish, is there anything that you wish I'd asked you about that I didn't? Or is there anything you'd like to comment on about Next Jump?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I think maybe I wasn't expecting I wasn't really sure what you'd ask. I think, I'm sorry, I don't really have a very good answer for that.
No, don't worry, you've answered brilliantly, and thank you for, in being enthusiastic and getting involved and engaged in it. It's really appreciated.
And thank you for having me, I appreciate that. I'm obviously very new, so
it's great. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you too. And
Take care.
Well.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.